Find your mouthpiece and put on your jock straps. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Hey, listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather there not be an MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Sports Blitz. It's episode number 81. I'm Doug. Robbie's here. Robbie, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, Doug. Doing great. Very excited for tonight's episode. By the way, hope everybody's doing well out there, whether you're in your cave, under your rock, in your car, in your home, I don't know, wherever
Sitting on your sofa.
Yeah, in your sofa, wherever you might be, come on out, turn on your computer, phone, tablet, stone rock, I don't know, whatever, however you get your media, and give us a listen and a watch. Definitely excited to have everybody along for the ride for, like we said, episode number 81.
That's right. I want to know what a radio rock thing is. I don't know what that is, but it sounds pretty cool, and I want one. But anyway, we are going to talk tonight about. Oh, first, sorry, we have a new thing tonight. I just want to mention, we do have our first sponsor. Our first sponsor, unbelievably, it's so awesome to have our first sponsor. That's right. Where's the drum roll? Anybody have any drum? I didn't even put the band. No bands, no nothing, no band, no streamers. I'm waiting for the balloons. There's nothing here. What's going on? We didn't even prepare for this tonight. It's okay. We'll just do that later. So our first sponsor is going to be it's actually our Bruins guru, starting her own business. It's called Zyman Organizing, and that's our first sponsor that we've ever had at the Sports Blitz. So we're very excited about that, and we're going to have our Bruins guru either tonight or next week hopefully come on and talk about what she does. But we're very excited to have her as a sponsor. So all I know is that she does great organizing, and I'll let her tell everybody what she does next time. So, but we're going to be talking about tonight. Going to be talking about the purity of the game. That's what it's called tonight. Purity of the game. So we're going to be talking about rules, regulations, different rules and regulations that our sports teams have picked up that we can't stand, or that we can talk about that we're like, hey, that's not a bad idea, but no,
hold on, Doug, I gotta brace myself here. Just gotta get into that full-on ramp mode.
Get into the mode, man. Get into the mode. We're gonna be, there's gonna be. Yeah, we just have to really take a breath. We really have to consider the fact that this could really kind of get us upset a little bit. So be aware that this is should this be a disclaimer on this episode? The disclaimer is be aware that we could have some spirited conversation. So be aware. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and Robbie's going to totally go off, is we're going to talk about some of the new baseball rules. We're talk about the new baseball rules, and let me tell you, the first thing I want to talk about, which I know Robbie has talked about in the past just a little bit, but I wanted to talk about it again because I want to see how far we can get Robbie to get how red we can get his face. We want to talk about the extra inning rule. So one of the extra inning rules is Robbie, and correct me if I'm wrong. Robbie's walking away. I don't blame him. I would too. One of the extra inning rules, I believe, is in the 10th inning. I believe we start with a runner on second base, and I don't know if that's just tell me if I'm right on that. And wanted to know your thoughts. Wanted to know your thoughts on having you starting at second. base, considering the person who starts on second base actually didn't get there by hitting. So you can actually
Also,
start
considering
there.
the person who started on second base actually got out to end the previous inning. Just saying that not only are you basically how do I want to say this?
There's going to
You're
be good people. You got to watch this section of
you're
the show.
basically awarding someone for making it out, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because usually you don't reward people for making outs in baseball. Just saying there.
Did they get a little statue? Little,
Yeah, they
like,
get a little trophy, get a little
little
5x9,
yeah,
little
little
thing,
trophy that says you made it to second base without hitting and getting out. There you go. It's right there.
And no big deal, but just one base hit could potentially win a team the ball game and could potentially have an direct impact on standings and playoff positioning and just on a team making the playoffs. And quite plainly and simply, it is the worst rule that I have ever heard of in my entire life. It doesn't make any sense unless you're one of these like, oh, let's make the game shorter. Oh, I get so bored of watching 4-hour baseball games. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Grow up. This isn't the way to do it. This is not the way to do it. You don't mess with the moral fabric of the game of baseball just so you might be able to end the game 5 minutes or 10 minutes sooner. By the way, there's no guarantee that it's going to end sooner because of this rule. Because what happens if both teams get runs because of this extra inning rule? Guess what? You go to a whole new extra inning. But what if both teams are able to get out of the inning? You go to a whole new extra inning. It doesn't make any logical sense whatsoever. None, zero. If there was a number less than zero, it would make even less than that. Like it just drives me absolutely insane. And I almost feel like there should be an asterisk, even for the Red Sox. And I don't care that, I don't care about how it impacts my hometown team or our hometown team. I feel like there should be an asterisk next to every extra inning win for a team for that reason and that reason alone. I feel like they shouldn't even get a full victory in the states. I feel like it should be like a half a win. It should be a half a win. I would rather, yeah, exactly. Half a win.
Victory.
I don't know whether you call it a tie after the 9th inning, or they go through this or tie after the 10th, like they do in spring
like hockey. Like hockey used to be.
They don't, yeah, like how it used to be. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. I almost prefer you do like spring training rules and call it a tie and give each team like a point, after 10 innings or something like that. That just mess with what is the game of baseball. I mean, you're basically putting the defense at an extreme disadvantage where they now have to contend with a runner in scoring position that did not earn it. And by the way, again, what happens? Let's just put our hypothetical caps on here for a second.
Yes. I would change it, but I have my headphones on, so I would.
March down hypothetical lane here for a moment. What happens if you've got a game, last day of the regular season, winner take all to get into the playoffs, and this rule is invoked, and one of the teams, particularly the home team, because again, they can walk off basically with one base hit. Let's just say the home team, first batter up, hits a walk-off single, and just like that, the defensive team is now missing out on the playoffs. Are you really telling me that as that visiting team, you're not going to look at that and say like, oh, well, that's the rule, so be it, blah, 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 blah. No, you're going to be freaking pissed. You're going to be pissed. You're going to be like, we just lost basically on a yeah. You're basically gonna be like, we just lost on basically a technicality. You heard that sort of he got off on technicality, or losing on technicality. That's basically what it is. And it just, like I said, it really is full on rant mode for this, and it always will be every time somebody brings it up to me, or I see a game where it happens, because it is the absolute just bane of baseball. Because basically what you're doing, guess what, folks? Guess what, MLB? You're not bringing in more fans because of it, because it really, if I haven't done the math on this, obviously, I haven't like done data collection or anything like that, but I would hazard to guess that it really doesn't speed up the games astronomically with this rule. First of all, on average, and second of all you're doing is you're alienating the fan base that you still have. So you're not getting anybody else, and you're turning off the same people that are keeping your league afloat.
Yeah.
It just drives me absolutely bonkers. There's so many better ways that you can handle this that don't just mess with the Robbie rant time. Yes, exactly. For those who don't see at home, Doug.
Yes, it is. There it is. There it is right there. Robbie rant time. Yep. You got it.
Yep.
Craziness. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you totally, man. I mean, I think
I need you to take over here, because I need, first of all, to cool down, and second of all, I need
Robbie needs some air. So yeah. If you see Robbie disappear for a second, hold on, I'm just gonna I'll take control for a little bit. Robbie's gonna go take a little break. He's gets very, very heated over these particular issues. This one, being a baseball purist, being someone who has.
I feel okay.
You're feeling all right now. Okay, you're okay. All right. Breathe. Do a little chakra. Do something. A little ohm going on. Little message in your head that says that it's okay. Because we go down the rant street. Yeah. Take that off for a little bit and just breathe a little, because it's really important to do that. But no, it totally makes sense about what Robbie is saying, especially if you've been watching baseball for 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, I don't know, a long time. It totally makes sense that you're if you don't want the rules being changed, you're going to be a purist. You're going to be somebody who wants to go to the game and watch the game the way it's been played in the past, and not just because we have people in the stands who are impatient, not because we have people in the stands who want to get the game over with because it's a 4-hour Yankee Red Sox. But you have to understand, the 4-hour Red Sox Yankee games, they're freaking classics. They're classics. That's why you watch them, because they are classic games. You're going to tell me that in 2004, you're going to tell me those Red Sox and Yankee games are not classics? They are classics. They're incredible. Yes, they may last 3.5, 4 hours, but they're supposed to, because that's what classic games do. That's what classic games are.
I guarantee people were glued to their televisions till 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, watching those extra innings.
We all were. My wife was. The Bruins crew was.
Listen, I had to go to school the next morning for some of those, so I can't say that I was glued for every single one. But I mean, people were tuned in, man.
Dude, when I was growing up, and I can't believe I just said dude twice. When I was growing up,
dude squared.
I don't know where that came from, because I don't even like saying it, so I don't know where it came from. So I apologize. So when I was growing up, my whole thing was all about the Celtics, of course, basketball. We were listening to the Celtics game when we were during graduation from high school. We were listening to them in our little earpieces when we in our headphones, on our Sony Walkmans. That's what we did. We stayed up late for games. If it's an important game, you stay up late because you go into school and you're tired and all this kind of stuff. You're tired for a reason because the Red Sox just won. That's what happens. That's a purist. That's a person that wants the game to be a classic game, the way the game is supposed to be. And it doesn't make any sense that all of a sudden they're changing these rules for what? What are they changing these rules for? For people who can't stay at a game? Give me a break. Well, why can't you stay at a game? You pay to go to the game. You may even pay, Robbie. You even may pay for maybe on Nesson, but if it's not on Nesson, maybe on a station that you can't get, you may pay for a baseball package. Pay for a cable baseball package. You're paying to see that game. So you're gonna go, oh, I can't watch anymore. It's been 3 hours. That's crap. That's crap on a stick, man. It doesn't make any sense.
The people who, I can't pay attention for that long. Oh, they're losing my attention. Blah 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 blah. It's just like
we're talking about a classic baseball game, and you can't pay attention to it. When Roger Clemens went out there and it was against Seattle, right? And did that, was it 21 strikeouts? Is that what
20,
it was?
20. 20s actually. He struck out. He had 220 strikeout games.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you'd say like in the fifth inning, you'd say, oh, I don't want to stay. It's only on 8 now. I don't want to watch it anymore. I mean, he's probably not going to.
Oh, it's too it's too cold. It's a whole 45
seriously.
That's awesome.
Exactly, but that's the whole point of the freaking game in itself. It's because you go there because it's a little chilly or because it's hot as heck and it's the hottest night ever. And you go there to cheer your team on. That's what you do. That's what you do as a sports fan. And let me tell you, that's a whole other episode about sports fans. And the fact is that the sports fan has changed. It has changed from even 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. The sports fan has changed. Now I understand that all these teams, all the major league teams have had to change things because people change. I totally understand that. But when you start changing the actual game itself, because you don't want because you think it's going to speed up the game in some way, then it's not real baseball. To me, it's not. It doesn't even come close. So some of the other rules. Some of the other rules is some we agree with and some we don't agree with. What do you think about the possibility of the universal DH?
See, that one I actually like.
Yeah, that one I like too.
I'm completely in the crowd of I can't stand. I'm sorry to say this. I know maybe this is sort of the only part where I'm not necessarily a purist, so to speak. I don't know what this would qualify me as, but I can't stand the pitchers batting. I'm sorry, I can't stand. You want to talk about board fest? Oh, the pitchers come up again. Let's watch them lay down a freaking sacrifice bunt or strike out.
They're just not good.
Maybe one time every 10 at bats, he'll hit a single or something like that. Maybe once every 50, someone will hit a home run. I loved the whole idea of the universal DH. I think it should be adopted 20 years ago.
Right.
Plainly and simply, I think that is a great idea, and I don't know why the MLB or the National League in specific is so. I guess you want to talk about reasons why MLB viewership is declining. How about the direct knowledge that literally every ninth batter is going to be a guaranteed out. Every ninth batter in the order is going to be guaranteed out when you watch a National League game. It's not fun to watch. I don't care about the strategy of it. It's not fun to watch.
No, because they suck.
I'd rather watch David Ortiz hit a 3-run bomb or JD Martinez hit a 3-run bomb than watch freaking Eduardo Rodriguez, bunt one back to the pitcher and maybe move a guy up to second base who may or may not score later in that inning.
Exactly.
No, I'm with you. I think universal DH. I'm if I'm all out on the extra inning runner rule, I'm all in on the universal DH.
Right, exactly. It's like the total opposite.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes down to the universal DH, it's a little bit of a difference also. And I think that the DH rule, I mean, Dennis Eckersley talks about there were 2 home runs that he actually hit as he was playing. There were
you freaking do 2 home runs. Oh boy.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact is that a long time ago, the pitchers who had to hit actually took batting practice. Because, and I'm not even sure if they do it now, but I'm just saying that they actually took batting practice and took it seriously. I think the universal DH, and maybe because we watch the American League so much, but I think the universal DH is perfect because the pitchers can't hit. What happens if they hurt themselves? I mean, that's even worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Here's the other thing. Also, you want to talk about strategy. Yeah, now you have to sort of get in the decision. Oh, do I hit for my pitcher, or what if I want to bring him out for one more inning? But that means he's got to hit this inning, and it's a tied ball game, and the 7th, 8th inning. But I wanted to keep my guy out there. But now I have to put him at the plate with runners at first and second, and 2 outs, and risk basically you can stay a tie game for him and lose him on the mound there.
Yeah, well, I also agree with that too. But the fact is that the pitchers don't hit; they suck. They're terrible. They're not worth watching. To be able to do that, and I understand we don't watch a lot of National League games, and I guess some of the games are on. If you have the MLB Network, some of the games will be on there, National League wise, around this area. So I guess it kind of makes sense a little bit how they are like maybe not into it because they've been used to it for such a long time. But I think the universal DH is perfect because then what you're doing is you're saving your pitchers. You don't want your pitchers getting hurt. What happens if he gets hit hit in the arm? So something like that, or now he can't. Now it's like now he's hurt.
How about the hammy coming out first? Coming out of the batter's
Exactly. Absolutely. Now your star pitcher is now going to be out for God knows how long because he got a hamstring injury. So that just doesn't make any sense to me. I understand we've had it this way for a long time, and I guess when you talk about purists, you're talking, okay, well, you guys are purists. How come you don't like that? Well, we just mentioned why we don't like it. We just mentioned that there's a whole bunch of things that can happen during these kinds of situations, and they have happened. We have seen pitchers get hurt. We have seen pitchers just strike out, and it doesn't make any sense. Well, why have them hit in the first place? Because they're just terrible. They're not hitters. They're pitchers. That's what they do. So keep it that way, and then maybe you can keep your starting rotation in a good way because you're not getting pitchers that are hurt. You're not getting pitchers that are even pulling a muscle, and then they have to wait, two different cycles to be able to go back and pitch. I think the rule is I think the rule is a great rule. I think it definitely should be something that is put in as a rule from now on. And I think that would make the game better, especially for managers and for, especially, when you get down to where the playoffs are, you get injured pitchers, you're going to be in trouble. You're really going to be in trouble. So that's something that I think is important. Something that just came up in the last few days, something I unfortunately, sorry, I don't have on my list here, Rob, but I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Yeah.
Is bringing regular guys in, guys who are not pitchers, bringing them in to pitch because the game is lost. So this happened in a Red Sox game. I'm not sure if it wasn't the last game, but I think it was maybe not the second to last.
No,
game.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think it was against Chicago, one of the games against Chicago, where it was Tony La Russa. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had to bring in. And we've actually seen it. The funny thing is, we actually have seen it in playoff games as well. You know, if you sort of go back to 2018, the 2018 playoff one, game 3, game 3 against the Yankees. I should know that because my sister was at that game. Game 3 against the Yankees. They brought in Austin Romine, the Yankees, to pitch the 9th inning, and he actually was the one who gave up the homer to Brock Holt, which cemented Holt's playoff cycle. Which was
Good idea.
Interesting.
That worked out for him.
By the way, the Yankees lost 16-1 at home in the playoffs. So
that worked.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of on I'm kind of in the middle on that one. I mean, I get that, you know, if you're in a game where basically, you know, it's a lost cause anyway, and you want to kind of save some pitching, I get it. On the other hand, you know, does it kind of come off as kind of making a mockery of things in some ways? Yeah, I could see that too. So I would say, I mean, it's definitely not at the top of my list on either side. Like, oh yeah, I'm all for this, or oh boo, I completely hate this. Like the extra inning runner rule. That's the quadruple boo for that rule right there. But I would say I kind of am like, I'm kind of in the middle on that one. I would have to say sort of take a very neutral on the fence stance about that particular one.
Well, I was actually listening to the game that day, and Lou Merlone said something really, really interesting. He said, and of course he's a baseball purist, so that kind of makes sense. Right. But he was like, he doesn't like it at all. First of all, I think it's unfair. He doesn't want to have the rule where if you're winning 16-1, it's like, okay, let's just call the game. He doesn't want that.
Mercy rule.
You know, he doesn't like the mercy rule either. But on the flip side of it, he thinks it's really super dangerous, and I kind of agree with him a little bit. If you listen to what he says, I'm going to tell you what he says. That actually is that he says that it's kind of dangerous. It's dangerous on both ends to be able to bring somebody in who's pretty much never pitched, or even if they pitch, maybe they pitched in high school, college, or whatever, but they still don't play the pitching position. And say you send a guy in who's a shortstop, something like that. It's really dangerous, not just for the person who came in, who's not ready to pitch, but the person at the plate. What happens if you hit this guy? And it happened in that game. Actually, there was a brush by, but he got hit just slightly. But still, you could injure a player that way on both ends of the spectrum on that. And if a guy's not a pitcher, he should not be going in to pitch. Now, when you're talking about football, how many times have we seen Edelman in the time that he's been there, to the time he's been in the Patriots? How many times have you seen Edelman throw the ball for a touchdown, or just throw the ball as a quarterback? It's a little bit different when you're talking.
How about just the Wildcat offense in general? I mean,
but it's a little different anyway, because Edelman was a quarterback. He was a quarterback. He knows how to play that position, and it's okay as far as I'm concerned. And again, it's a different game. But what I'm talking about is injuries. What I'm talking about is sending a guy out there. I mean, you might as well send somebody's grandmother out to pitch. I mean, Tony La Russa, why don't you go out there and pitch? It just doesn't. To me, I'm not necessarily in the middle of it. I'm more on the end of, let's not do that. Let's not do that. That's just not right, because I think it's dangerous. I think, somebody could get hit. Somebody could throw, some of these guys, even in shortstop, probably throw 80, 90 miles an hour. They probably do. And somebody throwing and is not used to, and some of these guys are very good with control, and that's fine. But they're not pitchers. It's like it's like sending your neighbor out to go and pitch for the Red Sox. Your neighbor is not. It's just not. It's like why don't you just bring somebody from the stands? Bring somebody from the stands down. Robbie, they should call you on the phone. They should call you on the phone. And this is how the conversation is going to go. I swear to God, it's going to go like this. Hello? Yes. Yes, this is Robbie. Yeah, so you need me to come down and pitch? What? Pitch? Wait a minute. You sure you want me to pitch? Because I haven't pitched before, but I've played a couple of before, like in elementary school. They want me to pitch? No, you don't want me to pitch. Okay, I know who you are. I know you're Tony La Russa. I get it. I understand how important you are, but I don't pitch. You still want me to pitch? Okay, I'll pitch. I'll be down in a few minutes. Do you have a uniform that fits me? Okay, thanks. So that's what I'm talking about, man. It's like sending the clown in. Oh, to do something that he's not used to doing. So that's my personal opinion on it, is that I'm not sure how safe it is to be able to do that. I think we've been lucky enough to be able to have a situation where it really hasn't gone awry yet. But why do it? And what happens if you need that utility guy that sits on the bench? What happens if you need him? What happens if somebody gets hurt in the field and now you need that utility guy to go in the field? Now you're going to get grandma upstairs? I mean, I don't understand. It's like I understand you're throwing the game. That's fine. You get it. You want to save your pitchers. But at that point in that game, Robbie, they carry what, 13 pitchers, 14, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Send somebody in that at least pitches. That may not pitch ever, but send somebody in who is
very
designated person who pitches.
Very back end of the bullpen. The very
yes, the back end of the bullpen, not somebody from the stands. Not the. Can you see? Hey, peanut guy, can you come down and pitch for us? I mean,
hey, you throw a mean bag of peanuts.
Yeah, he throws great peanuts. He throws great peanuts. We love that. Let's get. Hey, come on down and pitch for us. Then the game's all shot, but try to throw strikes, will you? I mean, that's what it's like. So for me, I'm really not in the middle. I'm more on, let's not do that anymore. I mean, I understand it. I get it. I get you want to save your pitchers, but the fact is that he's got plenty of pitchers. So it didn't make any sense that he would. And you know what, Robbie, this was in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
It's okay to send somebody in the 9th inning. I don't have a problem with that. That's the 9th inning. But in the 7th inning, you're going to send somebody in to pitch 3 innings? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's just setting yourself up for disaster, as far as I'm concerned. That's just crazy.
That's a valid point. I think there's a big difference between setting somebody up for the 9th inning of basically a blowout and sort of just trying to get get through that final 3 out somehow or whatever, and having somebody go out there for, like you said, 2-3 innings.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I see your point. Like I said, I think I still kind of see both sides of it, but I mean, it's a valid. There's a valid argument to be made, depending on the situation, like you were just saying.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it does depend on the situation too. But I understand what you're saying too. I also understand what Lou's saying, but I'm on more of the Lou Maloney side, which is I just think it's dangerous. I think it's a dangerous thing to do. I don't think you should do it in the 7th inning. Obviously, if you're sending somebody in the 7th inning who's never pitched before, you've given up. That makes sense. I mean, really? I mean, you just want to send them in just to get some exercise? I mean, it's a baseball game, man. You got to win games. Sending somebody in that doesn't know how to pitch, you don't
win the game.
Play to win the game there, Tony. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get it. Honestly. So anyway, talking about something that's absolutely disastrous, we're going to go to hockey. So we're going to go to the NHL, and we're going to talk about hockey. And the first thing we're going to really talk about is we're actually going to talk about the one thing that drives me crazy, and I'm trying to figure out how they decide on this, is we're going to talk about when the puck, when they fly the puck into the crowd. and obviously there's netting there and stuff like that. But when they fly it out, sometimes they get a delay a game, and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Well, is it discretion?
Well,
Does it have to hit somebody?
Can I tell you? Can I tell you what it is, or at least?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me what it is, because it's driving me nuts.
Basically, when the time they get the delay game penalties, when a defensive player, I'm pretty sure I forget if they get it on both offense or defense, but usually it's a defensive player, literally shoots the puck and it goes into the stand without touching anything. No
Right.
glass. Okay. Basically, if it touches anything, player, glass, there's no delay game. It has to go straight out without touching a single thing on the way out. Is basically what it comes down to. Like I said, if it scrapes any glass, hits the shoulder pad, or like the side of the jersey of an opposing player, or whatever the case may be, then it's all good. But basically, it's basically shooting. Basically when they put the puck directly with no interruption, no whatever you want to call it, out of the ice surface, so to speak.
Right. I mean, without hitting anything. I mean, you can't hit the little bird that's on the ice, or the cat or the skunk or whoever, the gerbil that gets in.
Don't know why animals are coming on to hockey rinks to begin with, but it's all.
I mean, they play in the city, so there's a lot of things there that could get in, especially in New York and Boston. You never know. Buffalo is totally different because you have these big, huge buffaloes, so you can't obviously
can't miss those.
Can't miss those guys. But so that's definitely a penalty if it's if Buffalo comes onto the ice. So you have to watch that, and hopefully the Bruins won't run into that tonight.
Too many Buffalo on the ice.
Too many Buffalo. Yeah, that's right. That's the next rule that they have in hockey. Too many mascots, too many buffalo animals, actual buffaloes on the ice. That's what it is. Do they call that too many men? No, they call it too many buffaloes.
Too many bison.
Too many bison on the ice. That kind of rhymes there a little bit. No, I get crazy about that rule, because then you see the replay and they still call delay a game, and it didn't hit anything. And it drives me totally bad about that. And again, that's more or less just my feeling on it. It hit something. You could see it in the replay that it grazes the top of the freaking board. I mean, the top of the ice.
I would almost rather, to your point, if they're gonna impose any sort of penalties, so to speak, for doing it, I would almost rather they use the college rule, which is if you do that in college, you don't get to change, kind of like an icing. But at least you don't have to skate shorthanded for 2 minutes, for what could have been accidentally, shooting the puck straight out of the ice surface. So if you're gonna do anything, I'd rather they do that than give, a team now all of a sudden has to kill off a penalty, especially depending on what the juncture of the game is, for that situation.
And I totally agree with that too, Robbie. Just because, and you know what? I love some of the college rules. Some of the college rules that the pros need to adopt. Some of these hockey rules, they're phenomenal. They're great. And they keep the game flowing, they keep the game going, just like the rule you just said. Awesome. I think that's a great rule. I wouldn't mind changing it to that. That's phenomenal. Some of those rules, they're just great, and the way they do it, and the game is exciting too. It's not like not like college hockey is freaking boring. It's very exciting, and and in some cases, hockey's a very fast game anyway. But still, some of the hockey rules are phenomenal. They're just great the way they adopt some of these, some of these great, great rules. But it drives me nuts because it hit something. It didn't smack a player in the face, but that it hit the top of the glass, which, by the way, I don't know why they call it glass, because it's actually plastic. But but it's like fiberglass or something.
Well, have you
They just
seen
call
some
it-
of that stuff smash though on some of these hits and stuff like that? I don't think plastic smashes like that.
No, it doesn't, and a lot of it's glass, but it's a lot of it's like tempered. It's
Yeah.
it's much better than it was, but it's you just know you saw the replay, and the replay guys are saying, yeah, I think it hit the top of the glass there, and I don't know why they called that penalty. And it's like, I don't know, because they run everything. And the refs in itself, the refs have not been very good at all this year in the NHL. I mean, what's your thoughts about that? If you've watched, I know you've watched a few of the Bruins games, but
I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And maybe this part is, I'm not, I don't pay that close attention to the penalty calls and stuff like that. I mean, it seems like kind of par for the course to me from what I've seen in terms of bad officiating wise, bad calls wise. But
right.
I mean, I'm not the one, necessarily to make a judgment on that because I watch the game, so don't get me wrong, but I don't sort of study it as deeply as maybe other people do. So
I totally. I mean, I guess I do because I'm just a hockey guy, I guess, but some
he's
of the
a
penalties.
hockey guy. He loves hockey.
So I'm a hockey guy. Yeah, from Boston. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I do. I watch the hockey and drink some beers. That's what I do, man. I love the college game too. Going to the Bean Pot and watching some of those games. They're great, man. I'm telling you. Okay.
But he could be from Canada too. He just takes the puck up the
Canada.
ice.
Yes.
And just shoots it, and the puck comes out, and he shoots it again, and it's a goal. It's a beautiful thing.
What happens in Canada? Shoots the ball, shoot the puck.
I feel like that was a kind of a combination of Canadian and Russian almost. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what that.
I definitely shoot puck in net.
I shoot puck that I drink vodka.
I shoot puck and then it goes in net all the time, and I drink vodka because that's what I do.
Yes.
Don't talk to me about that.
Very good. Very good. Very
good for you. Yes. Go. So, getting back to it, it's just so some of the penalties just drive me crazy because it doesn't seem there was a boarding call tonight that refs called, and I just went nutty, and I was just like, yes, his back was turned, yes, he hit the guy, but he didn't hit him that hard. The guy went down like he got his head torn off. And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, you weren't even hit that hard. Seriously?
Don't you love it like when they take a high stick, like a slight high stick, and they're like, oh, my face, or they're like checking for blood, and they're like,
checking for blood. They're like, oh, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? I don't know. Dude, ref, look, it's a little cut right here. Gee, look at a little cut right here. Look, I got cut all I did it. I am Russian. I put a shot. I bleed. I don't care. I still put pocket net. So some of the penalties, and some of the penalties are absolute, and it totally makes sense. Tenorti just got hit just recently, and that was definitely a boarding. Knocked him out of the game. So that's a definite boarding call, and I get that, and I understand some of it's discretionary. I get that too. But I've just noticed, and again, maybe I watched the game way too closely, and maybe my mother-in-law always took off her shoe and throwing the thing at the TV, and she broke some stuff next to the TV always, and you want to watch it. It's so funny because you wanted to watch a game with her, right? But you also you had to put on hockey gear to watch the game with her because you had to be really careful. And then she was sitting in her chair and she
had on a swivel, being like,
you do. You just gotta wait. Is she throwing stuff? What's going on? Okay. All right. We're good. And then you'd hear her screaming from her chair too. Get out, get the fuck out of that zone, you idiots. And it's like we could be up like 8-0. I was talking to my wife tonight. We could be up 8-0, right? And she'd still be screaming at him to get the fuck out of the zone. What are you doing, you idiots? Grandma, you know it's 8-0, right? We're up, like it's third period. It's like 2 minutes left. I think we're gonna win the game. I don't care. I don't care. Hey, listen, one of the original gallery gods. So as far as I'm concerned, she can throw anything she wants at the TV. He was in the building when Bobby Orr scored that goal. The goal, foul goal.
No goal. That's right.
Yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, she can yell and scream as much as she wants, but you just had to be real careful where you sat. You couldn't sit in front of the TV because you get hit in the back of the head with a slipper or something. That's what you get. But speaking of getting hit, not getting hit, let's talk about, and I'm going to let you go first, and let's talk about the good old shootout, Robbie.
Are you sure you don't want to keep things off out here?
Oh no, I don't want to go first. You go first because I'm.
Okay. All right, I'll warm it up for you. I'll see.
I'm gonna cool down with the ice on my head. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say other than the fact I can't stand the shootout. I think it's the worst way. You want to talk about the extra inning run rule being a terrible way to decide a ball game. Having a best of 3 penalty shots is another terrible way to decide a sporting event. Again, I would almost rather they end in a tie. I'd rather they revert back to the days. Literally, if you tied after overtime, guess what? Both teams get a point. We go home. It's not fun to watch. It's kind of like a cheap way of deciding a hockey game because basically one bounce one way or whatever, and basically you get an extra point for basically converting 66% of shots. If that, even 33% of shots, you get extra points for that. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna kind of take us down a road here like I did for baseball. So I'm going to step off of the 18th fairway here and just let you tease. I'm not a big fan of
you
golf.
5 under par.
I can't believe I just made a golf analogy because I don't even like golf. But
yeah, what's up with that? All right, it works.
All right,
5 under par. I don't even know what that means. No, I don't.
But yeah, I'm gonna let you shoot your shot, so to speak, and sort of take it away.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put the sign up. Here it comes.
Yep.
Oh, here it comes. It's time for me to rant now. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about the shootout for a minute or 2 or 12. The shootout basically sucks, and I'm going to tell you why it sucks. It sucks because it's a skills competition. That's all it is. It's who can go from one big circle to a little net and see if we can score. But we don't have anybody around us to pass to or anything like that. All we do is we go down, we jigga like this, and we go down, we try to score. And that's it. That's all it is. It's a skills competition. It's nothing else but that. There are some players that do very well with that. There are other players that really are terrible. That they can't do it. There's no way they can do it. I am an absolute hockey purist when it comes. As soon as the shootout came in, I said, okay, I'll give it a chance and see what happens. I don't like it, but I'll give it a chance. I gave it a chance for about maybe 2 tries, and I was like, okay, this is terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible that one team has better skill to be able to go down and score on a goalie by yourself, with nobody else around, when, wait a minute, hockey? Let's ask a question. Question is, let's ask a question. Is hockey an individual sport? or is it a team sport?
I would opt for option B there, Doug.
B, it is a team sport. So having a skills competition at the end of the game when it's still time, and you have a 5-minute overtime. 5 minutes? What, I just spent 5 minutes. I haven't even ranted yet. I spent 5 minutes doing that. That was the freaking overtime right there. It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. 5 minutes is not enough time. And furthermore, I like the fact that they made it to make it 3-on-3 or 4-on-4.
Yeah, 3-on-3. I love
the 3-on-3. I love, and again,
I want to see more of it. I want to see more of it.
Hockey purists don't have a problem with the 3-on-3 at all.
No.
I don't have a problem with that at all. First of all, it opens up the ice. Second of all, you don't have 5 guys out there blowing wind for another 20 minutes.
I wish they do that for. I wish they do that for like the playoff overtimes as well. 3-on-3, you know.
Oh my gosh!
5-on-5 games that go 4 overtimes, like 3 hours. You know, it's like,
I don't know about you, but hockey's a team sport, and I want to see the team play. I don't want to see a skills competition that they have at the NHL All-Star game. As far as I'm concerned, keep it at the freaking All-Star game. It's stupid. It sucks. It's horrible. Don't do it anymore. Change the freaking rule. I'm telling you, you got to change the rule because it's just not. It's horrible. The 3-on-3, it's exciting. The ice is open. You only obviously you're only putting 3 guys out at a time, so you're not taxing out everybody for 20 minutes. You're only playing a 5-minute freaking overtime, which is freaking stupid. Why? I don't know. So make it another period. Make another period and do 3-on-3. 3-on-3, you do 10 minutes. You do 10 minutes. You do 20 minutes. Do a whole period. I don't care. As long as you do 3-on-3 and get rid of that damn shootout. I don't know anybody that I've talked to that actually likes the shootout. No. There's so many people that don't like it, that get so excited when they see the overtime and they see a 3-on-3. They love that because at least you're playing in a team setting. You're not playing one-on-one. And one-on-one, as far as I'm concerned,
you're not even playing against the defense. It's basically you and the goalie.
That's right. That's what it's skills. It's a skills competition. That's exactly what they do during the All-Star game. That's exactly what they do. They do a skills competition. Who can hit the miles per hour, the hardest shot. That's great. It's an All-Star game. You're supposed to do that.
Would always win that competition with like
over 100 miles an hour, which is great. Yeah. One time I think he was at 105, 106. Yeah. So that's amazing. And that's great. That's what you do at an all-star game with the all-star players. That's fine. But when it comes to every freaking day that you're playing this stupid ass shootout, it's just dumb. It's stupid. NHL, Gary Bettman, get off your ass and let's get this out of the game because it's freaking stupid. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'll tell you, I haven't met anybody, and I have a lot of other people out there that are hockey purists that love the 3-on-3 but can't stand the shootout. Got to get rid of the shootout. That's
same here.
That's absolutely my thought process on that, and I just think it's just crazy. So we're gonna move to our next segment. Our next segment is going to be we're gonna move over to basketball. And we're going to talk about some things. The couple things I want to talk about, I mean, real seriously. First of all, I want to start with roster sizes. They're all doing that now because of COVID, and I understand that. And I think that's actually a good thing. They're allowing, instead of 13 players, they're allowing 15. And teams can go up to even 17 players because they have the two-way contracts. So you're talking about the Celtics, I think I have 17 players at least. And I think they have at least two-way players. And I don't have any issues with that at all. I think it's important to have more because then you might have somebody out because of COVID, like Fournier's been out, because of protocols still. I'm trying to figure out why. been a while, so I
He
don't
was
know
well.
what's
He was
going on
out.
there.
He came back, and then he was out again.
And it was out again, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out whether he just doesn't want to be on the team or what's going on. I don't know. That could be a sign.
Yeah, where
But
is Evan Fournier?
yeah, exactly. Where is he? So he's supposed to come back this weekend, by the way, from what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
I'd heard that
So
too.
yeah, and Jaylen Brown has a little elbow, a little shoulder thing going on, and
Tatum's got
he's out
something,
tonight. But
Tatum's got something. Tatum's got something. I mean, they all got something.
they all got something around now anyway.
But they
But
did win
when you-
tonight. They did beat Phoenix 99-86. So shout out Celtics for that.
all right, excellent.
And the Bruins are about to win 5-1. So that's also a good thing.
5-1.
Yeah,
Oh, really sneak.
they really suck.
They
Like
suck,
really bad.
man. They're
They're
bottom
they're
feeders.
awful.
The bottom feeders. That's what Jack said. The bottom feeders. Wow, he gets away with a lot of stuff. Anyway, I thought that was great. Jack's awesome. I love Jack.
Oh yeah, good old Jack Edwards.
Do you know where Jack was before he came to the Bruins? That's a little. Oh, wait a minute. Breaking news. We have officially the Sports Blitz trivia. There we go. Here it is.
Oh.
Where was Jack Edwards before he came to the Bruins?
He was at ESPN.
Oh, yes. Robbie gets it right. Good job. Excellent. Awesome. Well, you never know. Sometimes you don't know, and that's all good.
Can I actually throw in a side note to that trivia?
Did he? Breaking news.
No,
Officially the first Sports Blitz side note. Go ahead.
No, so back in, what was it, 2012, Wellesley Little League captured the town's first state title in the Little League World Series tournament, and they advanced to the regionals out in Bristol, Connecticut. And two of their games, actually three of their
ESPN
games,
is.
yeah, exactly. But three of their games that year were for the regionals were broadcast on NESN. And who was doing the play-by-play for all three of those ball games? None other than good old Jack Edwards. So Jack Edwards.
Yeah.
So Jack Edwards has called the game involving a Wellesley youth team. So just wanted to
that's
throw that
great.
in there.
No, that's awesome. That's great. And listen, if you ever have a chance to listen to Jack Edwards on the broadcast, he is phenomenal. If he
Doesn't hold
doesn't
back.
bleed, he doesn't
hold
bleed
back.
black and gold. I don't know who does. He's just awesome, and he never holds back, which is great. He's awesome. And so we're going to talk. I believe that the roster stuff, the roster sizes, the increase in roster sizes, I think was really important rule. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
No,
I think
no
that's,
problem
and
either.
again, as a purist kind of situation, it's not a matter of being a purist when it comes to this. It's a matter of just having some extra guys just in case some of the guys are out. So I totally think that that's great. The seating, I want to talk about the seating for a couple minutes because Robbie, tell you the truth, I'm a basketball guy. I have no idea how they're doing the seating. I have no clue. I mean, I have no idea what kind of concept they're putting together here. I mean, I know they want to add.
Do you want me to tell you how?
Yeah,
it works?
please. School me in this because I'm maybe I just don't want to know. That's probably what it is.
And this is also for the folks at home as well. Basically,
all the two people that are watching us. Yes.
Yeah, the whole two people that are watching.
One and a half, actually.
Yeah,
yes. Thank you for watching. Yes, those people that are watching that are out of the cave right now. Cavemen are watching us right now. That's what it is. Two cavemen. That's it.
What is being called, I guess, the play-in tournament. It involves the 7 through 10 seeds in both the Eastern and Western Conference. And the way it is going to work is that the 7 and 8 seeds will play, and whoever wins that game. Oh, by the way, the Red Sox are winning too, 3-2. Cool. We got a clean sweep tonight. Nice. But the 7 and 8 seeds will play, and whoever wins that game will be the 7th seed in that conference's playoffs, in that conference's seeding. 7th seed, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Then the 9th and the 10th seeds will play each other.
Okay.
Whoever wins that game will still be alive, and whoever loses that game will be eliminated. Then the loser of the 7-8 game and the winner of the 9-10 game will play a winner-take-all to decide who is the 8th seed in the conference seeding. So it's basically for the 7-8 seed teams, they have to win one of 2 games, whereas for the 9-10 seed teams, they have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was. I am in agreement with you that I am not a big fan of it. I think they should just do straight up 1 through 8, like they've always done, and stop trying to somehow put new teams into the playoffs or whatever the case may be. Whatever their justification is behind this, I think it should just be 1 through 8, straight up. You're the top 8 seeds, you make the playoffs. Period. End of story.
Yeah, I still don't understand what the hell you just said, but that's okay. No, I'm just kidding. I do understand it. I think you're right in that. I'm kind of a purist in the fact that I really do want them just to do the regular thing. I understand it's a different year because of COVID, so I get it, but
but that excuse might have flown last season when they had to sort of come back
right
in the bubble, and you had teams that could have mathematically made, but this year they're playing basically a full season, so it doesn't make any sense. They're playing a full season straight through, so realistically they should be able to decide it in the normal way they would in any other full-ish season. So that argument to me doesn't I think it's less games this year than it was in a normal non-COVID season. But bottom line is that argument in this 2020-21 season does not hold the same weight that it might have when they came back last season.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that, but I'm again in that realm of let's just do the regular stuff and let's stop fussing around with trying to do other things. And I just it's just really confusing. And why confuse everybody when you could just make it the regular kind of situation and then just still have the same kind of thing. I mean, I don't think you're going to have too many complaints on that. I think you're going to have more complaints if you change around than if you don't. So that's just my personal opinion on it. I wanted your opinion. This is kind of interesting. Wanted your opinion on coaches challenge. I know that's not a new rule. We started it last year, and wanted to get your opinion on the coaches challenge. Kind of like instant replay. They obviously want to get it right. Now they still have this, even when there wasn't a coaches challenge, specific coaches challenge. There were times that they went to the they went over to the score table. Yep. They went over to the scorers table and they looked at the monitors and they just wanted to make sure. Sometimes they do that with if it's a foul on a 3-point shot to make sure that it is a 3-point shot
or an out of
to be
bounds.
made. Out of bounds, something like that. So they've had that in the past, but this is specifically a coach's challenge where there is a actual green light that goes on. It's like, okay, we can go now. Let's go. So there's a green light that goes on when the coach has a challenge to a play. And I just wanted your opinion on that, whether you like that or not. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a statistic from last year.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a problem with it, honestly. I think I understand sort of the idea of the right call is the right, or not the right call, but the call is the call, so to speak. Sort of that purist take, so to speak. But I think honestly, I think part of it comes from being an official, so to speak, being a baseball umpire and having ref basketball in the past, is that you do, in a sense, want to get the call right. And I think that there are certain plays that you look back on and say, oh, if only we'd had replay for that one, because that made an impact on how such and such was decided, or this particular game, or whatever the case may be. So I think when it comes to replay and when it comes to coaches' challenges, I really don't have a problem with it, because I want them to get the call right, is what it bottoms down to. And I mean, and the funny thing is sometimes they still don't get the call right, even with challenges. I mean, you look back to, I know this is not this particular sport, but the 2019 NFL season with N'Keal Harry's non-touchdown against Kansas City that should have been a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Yeah, no, part of it is the Patriots did not have a challenge to burn, unfortunately. That did not have a challenge to use in that situation, so they could not review it. But I like I said, bottom line is that I don't have an issue with replay or with coaches' challenges, because I want them to get the call right, and that's a big step forward a lot of times in doing so.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with wanting to get the call right. I think that's something that's really important, is to get the call right. And again, we really haven't touched upon replay, and I was going to save that for the last kind of thing. And I think if you have a replay and you get the call right, that's really what the replay is there for. But so a little statistic from last year, I think this is, and I want to know your reaction to it. It turns out that there were 700 challenges last year. 700 coaches challenges.
Wow.
Now, I'm not sure if that's excessive or not excessive. Again, they've only done it for 1 year, but that's a lot. That's and how much time are they spending on each coach's challenge, trying to figure out, and that's time that the guys are standing around. Usually when you're going up and down the court, you're kind of warmed up, and does that lead to some injuries? I've noticed a lot more injuries this year than there were either in past years. But 700 challenges, that's a lot of challenges, man. I know there are a lot of games, so it makes sense, but that's a lot of challenges for 1 year. So I don't know whether that'll go down. It should be interesting to see. But I believe the coach should have some kind of leeway, some kind of challenge system. And I think their system is pretty good. They've used it before. They've used it to just check out certain things. Sometimes they'll just go there because they know, they're like, oh, geez, we got to check this out. This is something we got to check out. So it kind of totally makes sense on that. But, I just think it's a little excessive from last year, but let's see what they are this year and see if they've gone down a little bit. I'm not sure if they will or not. So I guess they're trying it out, see what happens. And I don't have a problem with it. Typically they're going to the video and they got big screens there. So the video is good. And they go to it pretty quickly. But sometimes they hang out with it a little bit, especially if there's a little skirmish, a little fight, they gotta, which doesn't happen often, but sometimes does happen. So they want to know, who punched who, and, who gets attacked and who doesn't, and, that kind of thing, going to that kind of situation, which again, doesn't happen in basketball often, but sometimes. But speaking of skirmishes and physicality, we're going to go to our last segment, which is football.
Yeah.
Football, there's quite a few rules here and there. I don't even know where to start with this, man. But I guess we'll just start at the beginning.
That's the very best place to start.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to start at the end, but we'll start in the middle. How about that? We'll go there. So the rule about eliminating overtime in the preseason, wanted to know your thoughts on this, because I have some very interesting thoughts about this. And so what are your thoughts about eliminating overtime in the preseason?
Well, let me give my thoughts on the preseason in general here. I could care less about preseason football. I mean, it's nice on a Thursday night, during the late summer, sit down and watch a game. But I don't care. Wake me up when week 1 starts. I just really.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm never one that's really gotten into preseason football. So honestly, that probably is a good, prelude, sort of showing where what my answer is going to be for the question, which is that I really don't care if they eliminate preseason overtime or not. It doesn't have any impact on standings or anything like that. Whatever, it really, I don't really care. I really don't care is what it comes down to. Like I said, wake me up when week 1 starts.
I got you. So breaking news, I'm going to do a what's called a what do we call this? I don't even know. I don't even know why I did the breaking news sounder. So, and it's just me doing it. So you don't have something that presses and then we go sounder with a big voice. That's all, folks. I'm going to quote Richard Marx, who is a singer out of Chicago. His father was a saxophone player in a jazz band, and I'm going to quote him and out of one of his songs. And I'm going to quote him, and the quote is, "It don't mean nothing." So as far as I'm concerned, you're absolutely right. And it doesn't mean anything. Why go into an overtime when it means nothing? Unless you want to practice some overtime stuff, which why? I don't understand that. Practice and practice.
Practice is for.
That's correct. Practice?
Practice.
What you mean, practice?
We're talking about practice, man.
Just talking about
Playoffs.
practice. Playoffs? What do you mean? We're talking about playoffs. So my opinion is that I don't have an opinion about this. This is stupid, and it's like overtime, and it's preseason. It doesn't mean anything. So I totally agree with you, Robbie, that this should just go away, and we shouldn't even talk about it because it doesn't make any sense. Exactly. Wake me up when it's season first week. And that will, that's pretty good. Rule that's not in place yet, but is a possibility, is the possibility of replacing onside kicks.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've kind of gone, I've sort of been going back and forth on this one. Actually, I want to hear what your take is first, because I'm still kind of formulating mine as we speak.
No, that's fine. My take on this is that I think onside kicks are a part of the game. I know they switched around where they were going to kick off from, and I kind of get that. They want to stop, the really harsh hits for kickoffs, and I get that. Why are they messing with the onside kick? I don't understand why they're messing with that. Onside kick, especially when the game is close, it is exciting. You don't know who's going to get it. You don't know who's going to get the ball. It's a specialty kick. Typically, the ball is put down right on the ground. They don't use a tee, or they hold it in their hand. Typically, it's put on the ground. And it's a specialty kick. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen enough where it can get a little bit exciting trying to figure out who's going to get the ball and what happens, and is it going to go 10 yards?
Who did hit first? All that good stuff.
It's like a scrum. It's a little bit like rugby, a little. because the ball's loose and trying to figure out who's going to grab it. I'm not sure how fun it is for the actual football players, but I think it's an exciting kind of thing, and I don't think they should replace it. Knowing them, they probably will, but I don't see that there's a real necessity to relieve that. I think at this point, Robbie, I think they're grasping for straws. And the reason I say that is because they're just looking at things to change. And I don't think that you have to change everything. I really don't. Change a few things here and there to make it a little bit better. But some of the stuff is just, to me, this doesn't make any sense to change.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think I come down on the side of, ultimately, I think I come down on the side of that they should not get rid of the onside kick. I think that this whole idea of have a team go but like 4th and 20 or whatever is, you have to convert a 4th and 20. So now basically you're giving the offense the ball, which is kind of unfair to the defense, because the whole purpose of an onside kick is to challenge the team that's losing to have to really make a play in order to be able to keep the ball, or to get the ball back. Whereas opposed to 4th and 20, now all you have to do is basically convert an offensive play. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I mean, maybe you shouldn't be losing at the end of the game if you don't want it. You don't have to worry about
stop
it.
Losing.
Stop losing. Maybe use your timeouts better. That's or play better defense at the end, something like that. I don't know, but I'm not. I think ultimately I come down on the side of that they should keep the onside kick, and just these whole ideas have been bounced around in terms of alternatives really just don't seem to make a lot of sense. Really don't seem to solve a problem for me. So I think just keep it the way it is, because who's to say you're bringing up the whole idea of there could be a dangerous hit on the onside kick. There could be a dangerous hit on the 4th and 20 conversion play.
Yeah, that's right.
Really, doing.
No, I meant on kickoffs. On kickoffs, they were trying to make the field. They're kicking off further up to kind of stop the guys going 40-45 miles an hour and hitting guys. So that's what I was talking about. Not on the outside kick, but yeah.
Again, I mean, it's football. It's football. Right. Yeah. Bottom line is it's football. You can only sort of turn into the National Flag Football League all so much. I mean, it's football. There are going to be hard hits. There are going to be plays. The players sign up to play and knowing that it's a violent physical game. I mean, that's probably why a lot of them love the game, is the physicality of it, and the hard hits and all that good stuff. So I don't really think the alternatives make sense. So I think ultimately you should just sort of, like I said, keep it as is. I think to the average everyday football fan, they're fine with the onside kick, and I don't know. I don't really see the big necessity here in getting rid of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and again, I totally agree with you too, and I understand. Yeah, I mean, it is a physical game. I understand they're trying to change some things, but you don't just have to. Okay, so what do we change this year? You don't have to go that far. Try to keep it as pure a game as possible, the game we used to watch, with some of these other small little changes, which is fine. But so that just didn't really make a lot of sense to me to be able to do that. So we've basically come to our final thoughts for the evening of episode number 81, the purity of the game episode. So Robbie, I will go.
Episode, Doug. It was very.
It was. It was very, very pure. Very pure. So wanted to go to you for your final thoughts for the evening, and then we'll have some other things we got to talk about.
Yeah, so I am very excited for my final thoughts that the official, I mean, it seemed like it was going to happen anyway, but the official announcement came today that a New England area right of summer in sports is coming back this year, and that is the Cape Cod Baseball League. Obviously, a league that, like many other sports and leagues out there, was lost in 2020 due to the pandemic.
It was the pandemic.
Yeah, I know, right, Doug?
Really bad.
You think we've been choosing for the last year to record on computers in our bedrooms or in
Really?
dens or whatever?
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
No, but in all seriousness, I'm very excited to see the Cape Cod Baseball League return after a year's hiatus. It is always really fun watching the stars of tomorrow, the college stars of today, pro stars of tomorrow compete down on the Cape, and I'm just very happy that they get to return this year. And I wish them the best of luck in another very successful Cape Cod season, and I hope that we get to see just more of the excitement and fun that is, like I said, just a true New England rite of summer, and that is Cape Cod baseball. Because if you've never been to a Cape Cod Baseball League game, it's one of the sort of bucket list items that you really should try to get to at some point, because it is always a sight to behold. So I look forward to them being back for another season, and just want to wish them the best of luck in running this 2021 campaign. So, Doug, that's kind of what I got for my final thoughts. Wanted to throw it over to you, see what your takeaway is for tonight, or what your final thoughts are for tonight.
Yes, Robbie, thank you so much. Absolutely. By the way, if you have never been to a minor league baseball game, and it doesn't matter whether you go to Manchester, because I've been up there to see is it the Meerkats? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. If you and I've been to the Pawtucket Red Sox too. If you've ever
no longer the Pawtucket Red Sox.
That's correct. They're Worcester, whatever. Stupid ass, whatever.
Moose Sox.
Yeah, whatever. That's not a stupid move that I think is stupid. But that's beside the point. Speaking of pure, having the purity of the game just go right down the toilet. So that's fine. I sometimes I get why they do things, sometimes I don't. If you've ever been to a minor league baseball game, you got to go, people. You got to go. It is so exciting. These guys play for the love of the game. They don't make millions and millions of dollars. It is exciting. They after every inning, they typically have some kind of entertainment in between innings. I'm not sure if they're doing it because of COVID, but they usually do. So, but it's just exciting to be there. It's like being in the ballpark in 1940. I just love. It's a love for the game. They play for the love of the game. It's exciting. It's not these $1 million players walking around like they own a park. It is just some guys out in the sandlot playing ball. And I know it's more important than that, but that's what I get from going to these amateur leagues. They're semi-pro. They're phenomenal. They're great games. You grab a hot dog, you grab some pizza, you grab whatever they have there. It's just awesome. Yeah. I have been to many of those games, and those are the best games to go to, especially with your family if you can. It's not that expensive to go. That's the first thing. That's a great thing. You're still watching quality baseball, and you're watching it for the love of the game, and it's just awesome. And Robbie, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
These games are phenomenal. I know we used to go to the Pawtucket Red Sox. I know they're not the Pawtucket Red Sox anymore. We used to go during Rivers Day Camp, over days and overnights and stuff like that. Those were so many kids went because we all wanted to be there. And they're just really, really phenomenal games. You want to see true baseball, you got to go to one of these minor league games. They're phenomenal. They're just great. So definitely thank you for bringing that up, Robbie, and definitely try to get a game. Try to go to one of the games this summer. Just wanted to bring up kind of a very interesting, and it is sports related, so it's kind of cool. Heard this today and heard some things about it, which is pretty cool. But so the if I could speak, that would be great. The Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
The Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. There we go. Has scored another win. This time away from the frozen tundra. I should say that like I can't remember his name. I'll remember it in a little while. Of Lambeau Field. Rodgers was a guest host on the game show Jeopardy this past month. And the show has been going through a rotation of different guest hosts because of the unfortunate passing of a great human being. Not that I knew him personally, but just what I've read. The death of Alex Trebek in November, following a lengthy battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. During Rodgers' first week as guest host, ratings for the game show spiked 14%.
Wow.
I mean, usually it's a little bit of a bump.
Yeah.
That's pretty huge. That's 14% from the previous week. That means whoever guest hosted the previous week was not as good. So that's just amazing. And actually, Rodgers has also said that if he is asked to do the show permanently, I guess they tape the show, I think, 46 times out of the year. He said he would absolutely do it in a heartbeat. He loved it. If you think about football players, sometimes you don't think about them being smart. You know, think about them, oh, I tackle this guy. I lift things up and I put them down. I lift this tackle up and I put them down. No, some of these guys are super smart. And Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys. And he just loves Jeopardy. And just being on it, he's just like, he was just in awe of being there. So that's just a good story out of all the stuff that's happening in the world right now. It should be interesting to see what happens, because Aaron Rodgers is kind of an older quarterback, and you know, we'll see what happens, whether we see him as a permanent host or at least another guest host. At 14% is just ginormous. If you think about it, for a 2-week span, both weeks, on for 2 weeks, 2 and 2, so on for 2 weeks. So that's just phenomenal. It's just great. It's great to see that, and obviously we wish him luck on that. Don't wish him luck when it comes to football. So, although I've always loved Aaron Rodgers, I don't have a problem with it at all. I respect his football savvy, and now obviously we have to respect his TV savvy on a game show. One of the most popular game shows that are out there. At least in today's world, as opposed to a long time ago when there were tons of game shows out there. So that is my take for this evening's episode, and just want to thank our sponsor, it's Zyman Organizing, for being our sponsor. They're going to be sponsored every week. We're going to try to get the Bruins Guru, who's owns this company, to come on and talk about it. If you need any kind of organizing at all, please we'll have we'll have some kind of information on our next show to be able to give you. But that's our first sponsor. We're very excited about it. And that's pretty much it. That's all we got for this particular episode.
Oh yeah.
Robbie, we had a great time tonight. Thank you very much for again for having a great episode. I thought this was very good, and we have some great stuff.
All rants included.
All rants included. That's right. The rants were phenomenal and classic rants, and they were great. So
that
I'm
you only
Doug.
see right here on the Sports Blitz.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I just want to tell you the Sports Blitz. Speaking of the Sports Blitz, we are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on SoundCloud. Check us out and subscribe, hit the bell,
Ring
put a
that bell,
comment
man.
in. Put a comment in. Hit the bell. Yeah. And throw a comment in there. Well, we got theme shows that are coming up. So if you got a theme show that you want us to do, throw it in the comments. We want to hear about it. We got some guests that are going to be starting to line up a little bit the next, I would say few episodes or so. So we're really looking forward to that. So it's going to be great. So again, I'm Doug. That's Robbie over there. Actually, he's probably not over there, but yep, he's right there. For Doug and Robbie, for the Sports Blitz episode number 81, thank you so much. And we will see you soon. And hey, be nice to someone.
See you, everybody.